Good afternoon, this is RFC Maki, and in this flight report I'm taking off in a Hurricane, trying to escape before the enemy AI 110s blow the hell out of my airfields. You've got to get your airplane moving and get your flaps up and speed up as quickly as possible, and you are typically going to take a little bit of damage, as you can see there from my tail. Now, I'm playing this game in an offline mode, so there's only AI playing with me today. This is a little bit different than what I normally do. And I'm playing this game with primarily sim settings. I did accidentally leave on the damage condition for the airplanes. I tried to turn that off, but I must have missed that setting. But everything else is in full sim style settings. So you can see here I've got my Hurricane Mark 1 off the ground, and now I've got to scan the sky, looking to see where all those 110s went. There they are, flying right at me through the smoke. This opening for this battle, called Eagle Day, is perhaps the most exciting opening for any of the single battles ever, but the battle overall is pretty good. I'm taking a few more hits there. I've been using lately my HOTAS 1 flight stick and really enjoying the way that helps me to fly the game, especially the immersion aspect of the game where I'm flying in first person settings here. Oh no, it looks like I did leave my target arrows on. That was also a not quite sim style setting. So here I've got a couple 110s that I'm trying to target on. You can see there's a little bit of difficulty in keeping the nose steady. That's something I've been struggling with. I'm getting a little bit better. I've discovered that by removing the dead space on the stick and actually turning up the sensitivity on the stick, I've been able to actually increase the sensitivity and raising the linearity up to about 3, I believe. I've actually been able to get a little bit more smooth on my flights than I have been before. Now here I am chasing after the 110s, and I've noticed that in these battles the AI tend to just largely fly in a giant circular pattern, and so you got to chase them in a circular pattern. I don't know if it's something about the 110s themselves, but you'll notice that my plane is struggling a bit keeping itself in the air. Maintaining energy to keep yourself up is a challenge, so I'm trying to stay ahead of them and get a few hits on these guys. I'm only using machine guns, but you can see there I've lit up that 110 a little bit, giving it trailing some smoke. Again, starting to lose enough energy there, but got to maintain the circle. The 110s don't seem to be losing energy. Either they're just good at not doing that, or the AI is cheating in some kind of way. But here I am trying to keep up with this 110, getting a few more hits, and theoretically getting enough. He's training both smoke and steam to bring this guy down. Now watch this carefully. Here's where I get screwed up. An allied plane clips his wing off the 110, misses me. You can see it in slow motion here. This allied AI Hurricane comes in from the right hand side of the page, clips the wing of the 110, rips his own wing off. I'm okay, but then that 110 goes flying and slams into my own wing, and my left wing is gone, and I am down. What a terrible, terrible thing to happen to me. I didn't have time to get out of there in the parachute. 3, 2, 1, and I think I actually did just jump out just in time, but I'm not sure that a real pilot at that altitude would have survived. So one plane down. Now these battles allow you to have 4 different planes in order to survive the battle. So I go ahead and log back into one of the planes that's already in the air. And here we go, I can go after the 110. Now, technically that's a 110 down. The first half of this battle, you got to knock out all the 110s. There are 4 or 6 of them. The AI sometimes take care of them, but you've got to help get rid of the rest. So I had one going down until my plane crashed into him. Here's another 110 smoking and letting go of steam, so he's been hit a handful of times. Quick check on my 6, and trying to get enough to bring him down. Now I've got my convergence set fairly close, something around 300 meters or so. I'm going to watch out for that other allied Hurricane. This guy's taking a lot of hits, and he's still firing back. Again, you see there, trying to keep a subtle raise in my nose causes me to jump up. I really do struggle with trying to make subtle adjustments to my nose when firing. Here, got more hits. You can see a little bit more smoke coming out. And because I'm chasing a plane who's smoking, it's a little bit hard to see actually where that plane is. Now, if this is a real player I was playing against, I have a feeling that player would be lighting me up with this tail gunner. This AI 110 is not so great at that. And there we go, a large hit. And that 110 officially goes down. So there's a second one down. You can see that the 110 pilot's bailed out there. I always like that part of the game. And now it's back to looking for others. You can see there's some firing going on there. That gives me a clue that probably one of my Hurricanes is chasing a 110. So I'm going to sort of rotate the plane around and look for this guy. Some stuff's going on a bit higher than me. And there's a 110 up above smoking. So since I've got this guy on my sights, I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of chase. Try to get a few more hits to bring this guy down. He's really trailing some black smoke. And here I am behind the smoke trying to fire into it, having a hard time exactly figuring out where to aim. But you can see I'm getting closer. The smoke has gotten thicker and black. And more hits, but this plane is just not going to go down. Now here I am a little bit leery because the last plane I hit, I ran into the back of, and I'm not doing that again, so I overshoot him. But he's trailing really dark black smoke, so he should be relatively easy to find again. There he goes, starting to lose altitude. That big set of smoke down there at the bottom, that's the airfield that I was on. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can't try to add a few more hits to make sure this guy goes down and stays down. Rolling with him this time. You can see AI are after him. Climbs back up. Now this is with, if you've watched my previous videos, you saw that I was sort of fussing a little bit about the AI and the arcade boost. The arcade boost being almost certainly opposite what you expect. This is with the arcade boost turned on. So it's counter to what you'd think. These planes fly a little bit more realistically than they do when you turn the arcade boost off in the settings. A couple more hits there. And these 110s are pretty rugged, so they stay up in the air a while. Actually, I gotta say they're really rugged unless I'm flying them, in which case they go down. Drop the throttle down, and that's actually one of the nicest things about this HOTAS flight stick is I can really get fine control of the throttle. Unfortunately, there we go, a few more hits, and I drop the throttle so much that I lose my control of my plane, and I stall out, and that pilot dies when the plane goes down. So that's 2 pilots down. Pretty darn awful. At least I get the enemy plane down with me, but that was a stupid mistake, and I stalled out. Now, my third Hurricane, back up in the air, looking for the enemy now, trying to figure out where it went. You can see there's some activity up. It looks like the last 110 is down. The second half of this mission, I never seem to pass very well. And in this mission, you've got to go out and meet a series of bombers who are being protected by 110s and bring down a bunch of them. There's at least 27 bombers. Now, you don't have to drop all of them. I used to beat this mission occasionally in Birds of Steel. You don't have to beat all the bombers. You just have to do enough damage to cause that flight of bombers to turn back around. These are AG-111s. So in this case, I'm flying out towards those bombers with my flight of planes. You can see, and if I look back in the front again, you can see that there's going to be a little cloud of planes just in the left quarter panel. I'm actually just being hidden by the frame at the moment, but there you can see it just creeping into the side panel there. A cloud of bombers approaching, and usually above them is going to be another set of 110s coming after me, sort of in fighter mode rather than in bomber mode. Now, I've only got 2 planes left in this flight, and those 111s have an insane amount of firepower out the back. My accuracy is not so great to be able to kill a lot of these planes from the side and the top, so I just keep getting optimistic and hoping I can bring the planes down. I approach the planes from the side as best I can rather than taking a head-on approach. And so you can see I'm up above a little bit. Those planes are down again in that quarter panel. There's the cliffs of Dover. I can getting a judge of how much time I have to bring them down. Once they cross over the cliffs and over Dover, then you know that the game is going to be over. So my 111 is approaching. You can see. Now, I'm going to cheat here because Xbox One only allows you to record about 10 minutes of video before it stops, and since I was in the thick of battle, I didn't have a chance to re-record the video. So what I've actually done here is I went back and played a second battle and went out and met the bombers, and I'm splicing in the second half of this battle right on top of the first half. So here I am approaching those bombers from the side, hoping that I can get a little something out of it, firing kind of blindly into them. You can see sort of hitting the middle of the line, already taking hits, but trying to stay above them a little bit, trying to stay moving, and no matter what you do, you're going to take a few hits. Drop up behind kind of quickly, hoping to cause enough damage to bring one down. Got this guy smoking. A little rollover here, and you can see all of a sudden my engine is going. My windshield's got holes in it, so now I'm just desperately trying to do what I can to save my British citizens by putting enough smoke into these guys. And there I've run out of ammo. So here I am behind, I've run out of ammo. The only thing to do is to bail the plane, but before I can, I'm brought down, bringing me to my last plane. Now my last plane starts off because where the AI left it, which is right behind the enemy bombers, which is not the ideal place to be. Anybody who flies this game smart would know that it's really stupid, but I'm just trying to get enough damage on these guys to cause a few of them to bail out so that I can cause a couple guys to turn back and maybe win this game. You can see I'm already taking hits and really lying heavily, leaving my thumb pretty heavily on the machine guns just to do anything. But now I've got so much damage, and you can hear the engine slowing down. You can hear the strain on the engine. You can see that I am just in trouble here, just desperately trying to bring a couple planes down. Only a few more hits now. Oil up on my screen. My plane is going down. There's really not much more I can do at this point except to try to fire through the oil and see if I can't bring somebody down. Maybe get them to turn back. Hoping desperately I get them to turn back. I can't even see what I'm shooting at. And I'm taking so much damage here that my plane goes down. I lose my last plane in my 4-man flight. And in this case, the Germans are victorious. I'm going to keep trying this battle, and I hope next time I can show you a victory. Cheers, and see you all later. Bye-bye.